Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. Tonight, the Chemung County Sheriff's Office investigating a stabbing that happened at Elmira High School Friday night that left one teen injured. Our Sonia Ellison went to the school today and spoke with students about the incident. She has the latest on the investigation as well. Sonia?
Many in Elmira are wondering today about the status of the 18-year-old that was stabbed here Friday night and if safety and security protocols will change in the future for high school football games. Chemung County Sheriff's Office reported the 18-year-old woman was stabbed by a 17-year-old at the Elmira High School athletic complex parking lot. Students that were there Friday night are now concerned about the safety of future events. So far, they haven't heard about specific security changes.
They haven't spoke anything about it.
The Sheriff's Office reports deputies were called to the Elmira High School around 8:40 p.m. when they received a report of two females in a physical fight during a football game against Corning. Investigators learned it was a 17-year-old Corning High School student who stabbed the 18-year-old woman. The victim was a former Elmira High School student. Neither of them appeared to be at the game before the fight.
They just told us all to go inside and get away.
Student Brooklyn was also there Friday night and said she did not feel safe after this incident.
They either told us to go home or get inside, even though they wouldn't let us inside if we were already out.
Irway Ambulance responded, transporting the victim to Robert Packer Medical Center, where she was admitted and treated for serious but not life-threatening injuries. The Sheriff's Office says the 17-year-old female fled the scene before law enforcement arrived. Students returned to school today with no official news of the stabbing.
They just kind of kept it quiet. We only know things from the kids.
Elmira High School shared a statement with Big Fox today, stating, quote, "Our internal team is debriefing now in Elmira, discussing plans for additional security measures for future events." Students are hoping the security measures will help prevent another incident like this from happening.
Yeah, I hope they start checking people for stuff.
A deputy from Chemung County Sheriff's Office was standing by on campus of Elmira High School today. The Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division says they're working closely with both Corning and Elmira school districts and asking the public to share any information they may have about the incident.
No, we always have a school resource officer here. Yeah, I feel like I'm protected by the school resource officer.
Anyone with information is urged to call the Chemung County Sheriff's Office at 607-737-2933. Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News, Elmira.
The FDA has announced a recall of waffles sold at Wegmans. Nature's Path organic pumpkin spice and chocolate chip waffles have been recalled due to the discovery of undeclared peanut in the product. The FDA says people who have an allergy or severe sensitivity to peanuts run the risk of serious or life-threatening allergic reactions if they consume these products. The issue stemmed from a manufacturing error. Now to the latest from the Middle East. Fighting is escalating along Israel's northern border with Lebanese Hezbollah. It comes as another round of humanitarian aid moves into Gaza. Madeline Rivera has the latest.
More humanitarian aid is flowing into Gaza as Israel enters its third week of fighting against Hamas.
Smoke once again rising over northern Gaza Monday morning. Israeli forces say they hit more than 300 targets in the region over the past day. Troops also launching a number of limited ground raids into the Gaza Strip to locate hostages and destroy Hamas positions along the border. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin says a potential months-long ground invasion by Israel's military will face its challenges.
You'll see a fight that's characterized by a lot of IEDs, a lot of booby traps, and just really grinding activity going forward.
In the north, Hezbollah continues to attack Israel with anti-tank guided missiles. Over the weekend, Israel ordered the evacuation of more than a dozen communities along the Lebanon border. Israeli officials are vowing to fight back if the strikes escalate.
If we are required to respond, we will, and it will be very, very decisive.
Meanwhile, the World Health Organization says more medical supplies are flowing into Gaza on Monday to assist with surgeries and treat chronically ill patients, though some say it's still not enough to treat the hundreds that are hurt.
It's a drop in the ocean, and the only positive things into this is just that the border have opened for a very short time.
The White House says President Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agreed to a continued flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza. In Jerusalem, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
New York Congress members Nick Langworthy and Claudia Tenney, along with 8 others, are introducing a bill that would use funding to safely evacuate American citizens from Israel. The Safe Way Home Act transfers funding from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Shelter and Services Program for a crisis evacuation program within the State Department. The program would evacuate American citizens from conflict areas like Israel or from future emergencies where their lives are at risk. On Capitol Hill, it's a new week, but the question remains the same. When will Republicans elect a new House Speaker? A deep roster of potential GOP candidates has emerged. Rebecca Castor has the latest on the race from Washington.
A speaker has not been elected.
Republicans are starting from scratch this week to pick a new candidate for House Speaker.
Now it's a mess.
Majority Leader Steve Scalise ran the first failed campaign. Then Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan couldn't get the votes either. Now it's become a more crowded race with 9 GOP congressmen getting in the ring.
Certainly everyone is going to say that they can do it, but the question will be who has actually brought people together.
My pitch is very simple. First, we got to get back to work immediately. We have to get these appropriation bills done. We must secure our border.
Republicans will meet behind closed doors tonight to hear from each candidate before voting on their nominee on Tuesday. Majority Whip Tom Emmer of Minnesota scored the major endorsement of ex-Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was voted out nearly 3 weeks ago, but still has overwhelming support in the conference.
He has been successful. This is not a time for a learning experience as Speaker. Tom would be able to walk into the job and do it.
Another former House Speaker says Republicans should not stop working until they know their next nominee has the 217 votes it takes to win the gavel.
Stay together. And keep meeting and keep talking. That could be the most surprising person. If they can get 217 and they can keep 217, make them Speaker.
This go around, the candidates are encouraged to sign a pledge committing to vote for the eventual GOP nominee on the House floor, no matter who it is. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Applications for the New York State Trooper entrance exam open today. Those applying to be a trooper can schedule the exam as early as November 6th, and applications will be accepted until March 4th of next year. For more information, call the number on your screen. Your complete forecast is next. Plus this.
China and the U.S. trading threats after a military confrontation with an American ally in the Pacific. I'm Mark Meredith in Washington. I've got the details coming up.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening and happy Monday. As we worked into the weekend forecast, we were watching temperatures climb, but that was quickly shut down by a system that brought us some rain showers across the area and then held our high temperature into those 40s and 50s yesterday, which even was allowing for those frosty morning conditions that we were experiencing this morning, even dropping down to at least about 32 to 30 degrees in the Elmira Corning area. And then we continued underneath those clear skies that brought a touch on some warming, but we will continue to see warming as we have even overnight here the southeasterly wind. Now with the southeasterly wind though, what we'll note is that it is going to limit but not totally exclude the frost potential, as we're still watching that clear conditions, calm winds, and those temperatures approaching that freezing mark can still allow for some patchy frost. So make sure that you are protecting any sensitive vegetation that you still want to thrive, any of those potted plants or maybe some gardens you'll want to cover up or bring those potted plants inside. But we will see quick warming take hold by tomorrow afternoon. Even with a frosty start, we're going to bring temperatures back above average with even near record high temperatures expected Wednesday to Friday. But then again, the weekend is going to set up for changes, as we'll talk about rain showers possible with cooling temperatures again. Now, as we set up rolling into our Tuesday, what we'll see is that we'll start off with those cool temperatures, but that rainbow of adjustments of temperatures takes hold quickly. Even by noon, we're looking to be back up into those 60s with temperatures topping off anywhere from those mid to upper 60s. And what we're seeing set up is that high pressure systems will be hugging the east coastal regions, and the winds around a high pressure system is clockwise. So that's pulling warm air from the south and working it up to the northeast. And then through the middle of the week, this system across portions of the Central Plains into the Great Lakes stays stationary, but that warm front is what lifts in that warming. So going from those at least mid 60s for Tuesday, that brings us at least 5 to 10 degrees above normal. We'll continue to climb as this pattern is held in place. So it gives us daily warming potential as we won't have as cold mornings, and then those afternoons will be even warmer as we top off at 75 on Wednesday, and records range anywhere from the mid 70s to those lower 80s. So several days where records will be potentially broken or tied at least flirting with that threshold. What we also will start to see on Wednesday is some increasing cloud cover due to that next system that's going to move in. Again, generally dry through the work week, but by the weekend it's expected to bring changes by showing up with some rain showers, but then also bringing us a cooling trend, which is going to start as we work into next week through that first week of November, which does include that Halloween forecast. So it'll be something we're watching as we hold on at least to those 70s through Saturday. But as those rain showers pick up, we'll watch that those temperatures will trend downwards, and even by Monday, we look to fall into the 50s.